Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Let's talk about the tragedies of Tisha B'Av in the headlines. Today is August 11th, 2019, the second day of Tisha B'Av. And again, this is the period of time to remember tragedy for the Jewish people in the world. And we speculated months ago that we might see a major natural disaster on this date. One has impacted China, that's Typhoon al-Aqsa. Today, August 11th, is the 223rd day of the year, and in the Jewish language of Gematria, which comes from Kabbalah, natural disaster sums to 223. As we've talked about for the better part of the last year, on this day in history, 1987, HAARP, the military technology that has the ability to create storms, create earthquakes, it was patented on this day and not by accident. And again, August 11th is the 223rd day of the year. HAARP stands for High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, which equals 223. And, if you have a minute, go check the Comedy Central episode, The Roast of Bruce Willis. There's a joke made about a Jewish participant, and the joke is, if you were any more Jewish, you would control the weather. And the roast panel breaks into hysterical laughter. And really, when you think about it, it's like, what does that even mean? Well, when you're awake and you have eyes to see what's been going on in the world for some time, you realize that there's probably a lot of truth to that joke. So anyhow, you get this typhoon al-Aqsa. When the news first broke, they reported that 22 were dead, and that's not by accident. August 11, 2019 was a date with 22 numerology, and typhoon equals 22. Notice the name Typhoon al-Aqsa is 187, a number associated with homicide. And since then, they've said that at least 33 people have died. Familiar numbers. Also, on August 11th, terrible monsoons in India. They're saying at least 150 dead due to the flooding from the monsoons. 150 is a curious number to choose. Illuminati equals 150, but it's also a biblical number relating to the flood, which lasted 150 days before the waters receded. And notice that's from Genesis 8:3. Flood in Gematria is 83. Murder is 83. That's the story of God purposefully murdering the people of the earth because God regretted making mankind. And also, at the Hajj, the Muslim pilgrimage, for the first time in memorable history, there was a downpour at the Hajj. Millions of the Muslim pilgrims were soaked. It typically doesn't rain there, especially this time of year. So you just got to wonder. Remember, at the site of Mecca at the beginning of the year, there was an invasion of locusts, something else that hasn't been seen there. Locusts equals 19, like 2019. So, major natural disaster in the time of Tisha B'Av and on the date we were looking at. Also, on August 11th, major explosion in Tanzania. What's strange about this is it happened in Morogoro, Tanzania, and that sums to 202. And remember how the media last year on the anniversary of September 11th foreshadowed this coming cataclysm and coded out the numbers of Tisha B'Av, which is where we were. And those stories had to do with the birth of the red heifer, which equals 202. And in all the different media headlines, different publications, they were all encoding different phrases, which all summed to 202. So, in this town on Tisha B'Av with the 202 Gematria, you get a massive explosion that kills reportedly 61 people and injures 70 more. So, over 100 people impacted. Again, Tisha B'Av's about tragedy. And, there was also the mosque attack in Oslo. Again, March 15, 2019, a date we said to circle in advance. The mosque attacks were credited to a man who said he had brief contact with the Oslo bomber. We showed how the day of those March 15th attacks, they were synced with Tisha B'Av. Then you get a mosque attack in Oslo, Norway. And at the Al Noor Islamic Center, 118, the same number coded all over many events this year, including the red heifer story. Supposedly the red heifer was born on the day, leaving 118 days left in the year. And look at the address of this mosque. The building number is 202. 202. Plus a whole lot more. See the other videos I've put out on this. And then also, the other big story on the first day of Tisha B'Av was the death of Jeffrey Epstein, who supposedly died 202 days after his birthday. And again, dead by the numbers. Supposedly committed suicide. And as we talked about, suicide equals 34 like Epstein. From the trial to his supposed suicide, 34 days. The trial was on a date with 34 numerology, 7 plus 8 plus 19. His prison number, 7 plus 3, 6 plus 3 plus 1 plus 8 plus 0 plus 5 plus 4 equals 34. And if you count to his upcoming birthday, he also died 163 days before his birthday. Jeffrey Epstein, 163. 163 is the 38th prime, death 38. Epstein's also 38, so is Jew. And again, the other thing is people kept asking me, what's the most likely thing to happen on August 11th? I said something at Temple Mount. On August 11th, what happened at Temple Mount? Major confrontation between Muslims and Jews. The Israeli police shot tear gas into the crowd of praying Muslims. And, somehow, some way, trolls are all over the page saying that nothing happened today. Well, I guess if your head's up your ass, nothing happened today. But like I said, all the major news stories would be synced up with August 11th this year. They have been. Two biggest news stories of the year are the mosque shootings in Christchurch, New Zealand, which got a nation of 5 million disarmed. We said to circle that date in advance, just like Tisha B'Av. We showed out the day again of those mosque shootings. It was synced with Tisha B'Av. You get the confirmation we were dead on with the Oslo, Norway mosque shooting. And then we said, watch August 11th for Temple Mount. And something more serious could have happened today, but you get a very serious event. A lot of people injured. They're saying some people are in critical condition. Who knows exactly what's true? We have to rely on the media because we're not there. But we're also getting the headlines about how Islamic jihad's now being, pledged for retaliation. And just like I said, August 11th will come. It won't be the end of the world. More events will be synced with this date. And this will go on. This is how the New World Order operates. So if you think it's no big deal that, a nation was disarmed this year by the numbers, if you think today's stuff's just all a bunch of coincidence, you're an idiot, period. And don't forget that the burning of Notre Dame and the burning of al-Aqsa Mosque, where the confrontation was today, was exactly 118 days before today. Both of those structures burned April 15th. Let's just put it up here. April 15th, 2019. To today, August 11th, is how many days? 118, the same number we've been looking at all year. Same number that's been coded 1,000 times. The day after the mosque attacks in New Zealand, you had the retaliatory attack in London at 1:18 p.m. local, as it was reported. There's a reason they're coding these numbers. So just realize the next New World Order false flag to further disarm the public, to further enslave the public, to further, torture and kill the public needlessly, will be done by this code. Feel bad for the idiots that are my critics. So, we'll leave it there. Until next time.